Chapter 31. The Hidden Wound. The sun's first light filtered through the battered rooftops of Cardiff as Decima Wren stood atop the shattered council hall's parapet, her gaze fixed on the distant spire of St. Alun's Cathedral. Below, the city stirred awake beneath banners of the silver flame, healed but still scarred. Cassian joined her, silent and watchful, as the wind carried the distant clang of hammers and the murmur of rebuilding. Daniel landed nearby on Tunwil, his dark-scaled dragon exhaling a low breath that stirred the ash. Daniel dismounted in a fluid motion, Firemark glowing faintly, his gaze finding Decima's. The bond between them pulsed, unspoken, alive. "Are you certain this is where we'll find it?" Cassian asked, nodding toward the ancient cathedral. The hidden wound, the source of the council's darkest power. Decima's firemark throbbed beneath her sleeve, echoing the murmur of the city's ley lines. Daniel's firemark glimmered faintly, too, as if their magic were syncing in quiet agreement. "This place was the heart of their secrecy," Decima said. "Long ago they sealed a wound here, something so dangerous they feared its memory. But every binding has a key, and we hold it." Daniel's gaze sharpened, his senses catching a faint heat in the air that others missed, a prickle along his skin, a scent like old smoke. Tunwil rumbled quietly behind him, wings folding tight, eyes locked on the cathedral. Below them, the Forgotten Clan's contingents assembled in the square. Molly the Seer, Sister Willa, Old Brannock, and Captain Elin stood ready with their own teams. The subway weavers whispered final instructions to scouts, while the moonlit witches wove wards of protection across the rooftops. Sarenfe's deep rumble rolled across the courtyard. "Ready," she murmured in Decima's mind. "I will watch the sky. You must enter alone." Decima swallowed, heart steady. Daniel stepped forward, his hand brushing her arm, firemark warm against her skin. "You're not alone," he said quietly, his voice low and grounding. "I'm here." She looked at him, at the fierce light in his eyes, the quiet storm behind them, and nodded once. "Then we go together." Cassian exhaled slowly, nodding in agreement. "The bond will hold. I'll keep the host ready." Decima and Daniel descended into the cathedral's forecourt. The ancient oak doors, once sealed by runes of silence, stood cracked and charred, a testament to the Nightforge gnome's explosives. Tunwil's presence lingered at the entrance, a protective shadow watching over them. Inside, the nave yawned, pillars of pale stone rising into darkness, pews overturned, tapestries scorched. At the far end, the marble altar lay shattered, revealing a great fissure in the floor, the hidden wound, half buried in rubble and runes. Decima approached the fissure, every step echoing like a heartbeat. Daniel walked beside her, blade drawn, firemark pulsing as if attuned to the crackling energy beneath their feet. The shard embedded in Decima's chest flared with anticipation, and when she placed her fingers on the cracked marble, Daniel inhaled sharply, sensing the same heartbeat, deep and slow, as if something ancient stirred. Tunwil's low growl rumbled from outside, vibrating through the stone. Decima knelt at the fissure's edge, whispering the ancient words of rebinding. Tarian Argalan, Ruigo Aguela, shield of heart, tear, and heal. Her fingertips burned with flame as sigils of healing traced themselves into the stone. Daniel placed his hand over hers, his firemark pulsing in time. Silent, steady, a grounding force. The glow from their joined marks flared, and for a breath the air crackled with raw power. The fissure pulsed louder, desperate, and then the floor shuddered. From the crack rose a column of darkness, smoke thick as night. Within its swirl, a shape formed, a face with hollow eyes, a mouth twisted in silent anguish. It was neither dragon nor witch, but something older, rage and sorrow given form. Decima rose, fire crackling in her veins. Daniel stepped beside her, sword raised. The firemark along his arm glowing fierce as Tunwil's roar echoed from outside. The dragon's flame surged through the broken windows, catching the edges of the specter's smoke and forcing it to recoil. "You unbound me," the specter rasped. "Now you must bear the cost." Decima's heart thundered, but she didn't flinch. Daniel's breath was steady beside her, heat radiating from his skin as if a hidden fire wanted to burst free. "I bear what you cannot," Decima said. "You will be free from pain, or sealed no more." Lightning crackled above the altar as the figure advanced. Each step left blackened stone in its wake. Decima raised her rod, firemark blazing, as Daniel's blade hummed with heat. tiny embers flickering from its edge, unnoticed by all but Decima. "By flame and soul we mend the breach," she cried. Daniel's voice joined hers, low but fierce. Together. Light flared at the rod's tip, and where it touched the darkness, the smoke figure shrieked, retreating. Yet it surged again, tendrils wrapping around Decima's ankles, Daniel's too, seeking to drag them both into the void. Cassian's shout echoed through the nave. "Decima, Daniel." He had slipped inside, blade raised, but the specter's magic was unyielding. Daniel gritted his teeth, his skin hot beneath the smoke, the fire mark on his wrist flaring, bright as Tonwill's distant roar thundered through the building. Decima leaned into her power, and Daniel poured his energy into the bond. Their fire marks pulsed as one, bright, blinding. With a roar, they struck the fissure's edge together. A blinding flash consumed the chamber. When the light dimmed, the cathedral was transformed. The hidden wound's fissure was gone, replaced by a ring of smooth marble etched with runes of healing. The smoke figure had vanished, its face dissolving into nothingness. Decima and Daniel stood side by side, hands shaking, sweat and ash streaking their faces. Her rod lay at her feet, its crystal tip crackling with fading embers. His sword glowed faintly in the dim light, an ember's whisper of the fire within. The shard in Decima's chest throbbed gently, no longer in pain, but at peace. Cassian knelt beside them, placing a hand on their shoulders. "You did it, together." Decima's breath came ragged, but she nodded. Daniel's hand rested on her back, a quiet, steady pressure. From above, Sirenfe's deep rumble echoed. Tunwill's answering call rose, the two dragons watching from the cathedral's roofline, their eyes bright with pride and shared purpose. "The wound is mended," Sirenfe said. "Wales breathes anew." Outside, the host would soon enter, expecting either triumph or tragedy. Instead, they found a cathedral restored, its dark heart replaced by a light that would never fade. Decima, Daniel, and Cassian emerged into the morning sun, arms linked as they walked back through Cardiff's streets. The people followed in reverent silence, witnessing not just their queen, but the power of redemption, of bonds forged in fire and unbroken. At the cathedral steps, Decima turned to face the crowd. She raised her rod. Daniel raised his sword. Together, their light was pure and steady. Let this place stand as proof that even the deepest wounds can be healed, not by force, but by fire guided by compassion. A cheer rose from the host, echoing off stone and sky. The moonlit witches lifted lanterns. The gnomes' hammered trumpets sounded, and the sister witches filled the air with windsong. Cassian's smile held quiet pride. "You carried that burden and returned stronger." Decima's gaze drifted to Sirenfe and Tunwill, two dragons, wings outstretched, guardians of a healed city. "We carry it together," she said. "And we always will." The cathedral doors swung open, a welcome to Wales and her people, united, unbroken, and ready for the next chapter.